All right, well, we're taking a look at Bitcoin, back up after a big drop yesterday, but obviously the trend over the last year has been a notable one. Already today, we talked about the launch of those spot Bitcoin ETFs, increasing demand for the cryptocurrency. Let's get some more perspective now on investing in the world of crypto. Kevin O'Leary is chairman of O'Leary Ventures and joins us with more on not just the crypto story, but the regulatory environment, which arguably is part of the crypto investing story these days, because we're figuring out all those pieces.
Well, I think you've nailed it. Actually, regulatory environment is more important than cryptocurrency itself, because if you want adoption into the general global financial services system, you have to do it through regulated contexts. And so Canada is actually way advanced to the U.S. on this, because if you think about the regulator here, the OSC, they've been rock steady for years now. And the largest exchanges in this country, and I must disclose for transparency, I'm a huge shareholder in it, WonderFi, they've emerged as the leader in Canada. They are the exchange for crypto. So if you think about the future of digital payment systems and cryptocurrencies being integrated in Canadian banks, in one way or another, it's going to, all roads lead to WonderFi. And so that's my investment thesis. We may not have it right now in terms of reflecting the value in it, but there is no other way to do it. They've got 1.6 million plus accounts. They're the largest in Canada. They're completely compliant. They work under the order of the OSC, which is in sync with the SEC. And so they are the shining outcome after all of this consolidation that's occurred in Canada, and they're regulated. So that's very good. The U.S. is more complicated. You've still got Gensler litigating Coinbase, which is the largest exchange there. So from an institutional basis, you never want to be in partnership with an entity being sued by your regulator. And so that's a challenge for them. There's a new exchange in United Arab Emirates that's servicing Middle East and Asia, M2, completely regulated by the ADGM. So the real momentum is you see Gensler now approving, or will shortly, the Ethereum ETF, which is the next stage in the United States. So you get the two behemoths. Coinbase would be obviously offering both of those, but institutions are going to be a little squeamish about putting a lot of capital on that until they resolve their issues with the SEC. However, it's Congress right now that's taking the lead in approving a bunch of bills like digital payment systems and the Stablecoin Act, and that will further advance the role of crypto in all 11 sectors. Digital payment systems are going to be very efficient, particularly for foreign currency. I'm excited about the next 12, 18 months, particularly after the election, for crypto. This is a good time to be taking a position in it.
So this is one of the big questions, like what will we hear from Trump versus Biden on crypto policy? What are you going to be watching for?
I think they're both pro-digital payment systems, and so regardless of who gets in, I think you'll see an advancement of that initiative in Congress. I prefer to own the picks and shovels versus the volatile assets themselves. I do own some Bitcoin, and I own a bunch of other tokens, but my biggest positions are on the exchanges, because if you think about the long term, they're making money whether crypto goes up or down. And so I'm a shareholder in M2 in Abu Dhabi, and I'm a shareholder of WonderFi here in Canada. I can't own Coinbase while it's being sued by Gensler. That's just too risky, because I have to be compliant in all the financial services businesses that I am involved in. But I, too, if they resolve their issue with them, that would be another good place to put capital. But certainly Canadians, I mean, if you're going to own a piece of the infrastructure in this country, it's WonderFi. It trades publicly. It's a penny stock right now, but it will eventually create a lot of value in this country.
Does the story around how much governments are spending, because this does come up, but sometimes the crypto stocks themselves end up trading in lockstep with tech stocks, but this broader idea of governments spending too much, running deep deficits, do you think that long-term gets reflected in how much money goes into crypto itself or Bitcoin itself?
I don't really think that's the only driver, but think about it this way. I think Bitcoin is now at a place where it's considered an alternative asset. It's just as gold is. So I have a 5% weighting in gold. I've got a 5% weighting in Bitcoin. I also have a 3% weighting in watches. That's been a great asset class, too.
And even more with AI making it more productive.
And I'm in the watch insurance business now. I mean, I like certain things that are alternatives, and watches have actually performed very, very well, collectible watches. Over the last 7 years. They've been remarkable. I always wear 2 of them. I'm very proud of that.
Very impressive.
Yeah. This is a New York, Toronto time. This is Abu Dhabi time. I don't want to wake anybody up in my office in Abu Dhabi.
Well,